Brethren lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. We're going to be diving into the latest around Arsenal. Now, the bid for Mykhaylo Mudryk was actually turned down, but the good news is that it has been confirmed that Arsenal are preparing a second bid, a second offer that we believe will actually not be turned down. I was quite surprised that Shakhtar actually rejected our bid, but I'm going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about Joao Felix. Chelsea, Manchester United are now all in for Joao Felix now that Cody Gakpo has actually moved on to Liverpool. We're going to be talking about Mac Allister, Arsenal, Manchester United, and Chelsea still struggling and are fighting for the signature of Alexis Mac Allister from Brighton. And I'm also going to be talking about Youri Tielemans. According to Rob Sana, a special reporter for Leicester City at The Athletic, has actually said that the bid for Youri Tielemans is likely to be turned down because Leicester would feel they want to keep the player until the end of the season and then lose him on a free. They're absolutely okay with that. Hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well. In the comment section, let's have the debate, let's have the conversation. 65 million euros has been turned down. How much should Arsenal pay for Mykhaylo Mudryk? That is the question that I want you guys to be talking about. And that's the question we should be talking about in the comment section. 65 million euros has been turned down. How much money should Arsenal add onto that so that we can actually get Mykhaylo Mudryk? 20 million to make it 85, 10 million to make it 75 million euros. Let me know in the comment box below. And of course, let's get this video to 400 likes. Now, first and foremost, officially, it was reported yesterday by The Athletic that Shakhtar Donetsk had officially turned down a bid from Arsenal to sign Mykhaylo Mudryk. The bid was 55 million euros plus 10 million euros in add-ons, which actually takes us to a total of 65 million euros. The bid was actually turned down, and Romano said that it will take more. It will actually take more money for us to sign Mykhaylo Mudryk than the 65 million euros that we actually took in. And many people actually around this still feel Arsenal could pay in excess of 60 million pounds. And that could be around 75 million euros. So is it worth it? Is it worth 75 million euros? Should we be doing that? Or with the 65 million euros that we have, we should walk away and find another player? There's so many on the market. You could get Moussa Diaby, you could get Pedro Neto. I think there's so many players, very, very good players on the market for 65 million euros. If Cody Gakpo is 37 million pounds, I think you could get someone, you could get another player at that price. But anyway, the big story, again from The Athletic and Fabrizio Romano, is that Arsenal are not giving up. Talks are progressing between them and Shakhtar Donetsk. There is an optimism around this deal that it will get done sooner than later. Now, the second offer that Arsenal are going to be sending in is going to be much of a structured offer, not more of adding huge amounts of money, but we're going to try to send in a new structure, a new proposal on how we are going to be doing the payments. Initially, it was 30 million pounds up front, and then the rest of the money could come in add-ons. What Arsenal want to do is maybe add some 10 million euros to the 65 million euro offer, and then maybe just pay some more money up front, like 35 million pounds up front or 40 million pounds up front. Now, this is what I think about this deal. I'm quite surprised, and I'm very, very shocked that Shakhtar have the guts to turn down that huge amount of money. I'm very, very surprised. I thought they were going to get the money, keep quiet, tell Arsenal you could add 10 million euros, right? Because that is kind of different from rejecting the whole package. But what they've done is they've gone, this money is not enough. This offer is actually not enough, so we are rejecting it, right? It feels like they want 100 million euros. It looks like they feel that Arsenal, is in position to pay up to 100 million euros. Because when you look at the sources coming from Ukraine, they actually show you that they're still thinking he is in the price range of Jack Grealish. they're still thinking he can cost as much as Joao Felix. That is where they actually see him. Okay, but of course, most sources around this deal in the UK believe, any figure below 100 million euros will be actually welcome, provided Shakhtar believe that is the right amount of money. So them rejecting the first bid, everyone expected that, and I think here Arsenal have actually done, we've done something wrong. We've gone with a 65 million euro offer, and it has been turned down, and now Shakhtar, are either expecting 80 to 90 million euros, or they'll be like, we are not selling, because now they know Arsenal have got the money. I mean, they know Arsenal, if you come in with a first bid of 65 million euros, that means you're willing to pay up to 90 million euros for a player. It means you're willing to splash everything there is, everything you can, to get the signature of the player. Now, there is more pressure from Mykhaylo Mudryk from the inside, and that is something that is really, really working in our favor. That is something that is really, really helping Arsenal. But at the moment, I think the deal is going to get complicated. Yes, talks are progressing very well. Shakhtar and Arsenal are all hoping the deal can be done in January. And that's the other positive part about this story. Both clubs believe, and both clubs are hoping, it could be done by January. It could get over by January. And maybe that is the positive part about it. But I still feel if Arsenal sending in a second bid that will actually see us pay like 75 million euros and it is turned down, Arsenal are going to walk away. That is one thing I've learned with Edu and Mykhaylo Mudryk. They come in for a player, they like him, but the parent club is not willing to sell. They always walk away, okay? They absolutely walk away. It's the same story that I've been looking at this morning around Dusan Vlahovic. And Kalisha Makato was saying that Arsenal will have to part with an astronomical figure to sign Dusan Vlahovic in January. And in my opinion, I was like, okay, this is a good story, because we currently need a striker. We desperately need a number 9. But to be honest, I don't think Arsenal are going to part with an astronomical fee, an astronomical figure just to sign Dusan Vlahovic, a player that rejected us 12 months ago. Okay? A player whose agent was not picking our calls 12 months ago. Why would we pay an astronomical figure for a player that we know? We are not even second choice. We are not even third choice. But we are just there, right? Yeah, he can't sign for Arsenal if things are not working for Juventus. But if things were good at Juve, he would prefer Juve to Arsenal, okay? So for me, the Mykhaylo Mudryk deal, the Dusan Vlahovic deal are quite very, very similar. It could be very, very similar to what we saw in January with Dusan Vlahovic. Arsenal have the money, but then eventually the deal doesn't come through. And the reason is Shakhtar are expecting too much in this winter, in this winter. They're expecting a lot in this winter. 65 million euros for Mykhaylo Mudryk. That is double what Liverpool are paying for Cody Gakpo. It's enough. It's absolutely and definitely enough. Unless otherwise, but I don't think Arsenal should be paying in excess of 80 million euros. I think the most we should go is breaking our current transfer record for Nicolas Pepe and maybe going for around 75 million, right? Above 75 million for Mykhaylo Mudryk, no. Let him go somewhere else. Let him go to Madrid. Let him go to Bayern. I got no problems with that. We can walk away and find another player. Actually, I think with 65 million euros, you can convince Atletico Madrid, maybe add like 20 million euros and get Joao Felix at 85 million euros. Joao Felix is worth 85 million euros. Mykhaylo Mudryk, listen, Mykhaylo Mudryk is not a 100 million euro player yet. And I want to say that, clip this, but add that one. He's not a 100 million euro player yet. Okay, so let's move on to the Joao Felix story, because now the race for Joao Felix is actually heating up. Chelsea have also thrown their interest on the table, but the race is actually between Arsenal and Manchester United. United have apparently lost another race to Liverpool, okay? After losing the likes of Roberto Firmino to Liverpool, Luis Diaz to Liverpool, and now they did lose the rest to sign Cody Gakpo to Liverpool. They're focusing more on Joao Felix in this January transfer window. Now, there was a story from Fabrizio Romano that Arsenal have approached Atletico Madrid. Talks were intensive and talks were really, really advanced. But we have to remember that Joao Felix comes in as a number 2 target. Mykhaylo Mudryk has always been Mikel Arteta's number 1 target. He's always been the player that he wants. He's always been the player that he would love to sign at the Emirates Stadium. So it's either Mykhaylo Mudryk or Joao Felix. There is a possibility and a feeling that we might be trying to sign both of them in this window. Something that I really highly doubt. I doubt Arsenal will be going, okay, we are gonna spend around 90 million on Mykhaylo Mudryk and Joao Felix. I don't think that's really gonna happen. Okay, so the rest is now having Chelsea. Chelsea do have the money and they need a forward. I looked at Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang yesterday and Kai Havertz, and I was like, these guys really need someone to play up front. And Joao Felix could be a guy that actually works well with Graham Potter, because you look at what Danny Welbeck has done for Brighton under Graham Potter, and you're like, if you bring a talent like Joao Felix, he's definitely gonna work out for Graham Potter's Chelsea. So I think this one is just going to elevate the price and maybe elevate the competition for the deal. What I understand is that George Mendes and Joao Felix will be signing for a club that has the better deal, okay? So if Arsenal have the better deal, then that is where he will be signing. If Man United have the better deal, that is where he will go. And Chelsea, if Chelsea have the better deal, that is where he will go. Now, we know Tony Bolly is a freak in terms of, spending money. He's a freak in terms of, splashing the cash around. I won't be very surprised, to be honest. I won't be very surprised if he eventually splashes a lot of money on Joao Felix's contract. So I could easily see Joao Felix at Chelsea. I could easily see Joao Felix at Arsenal. I could easily see Joao Felix at Manchester United. I think it's gonna be a test of time. It's gonna be time, right? The more time it takes, the more time it drags on, a couple of clubs will actually drop out of the race, and then we will know who eventually is gonna be taking Joao Felix. So that is also there. The rest is on, but no one is clear yet. So let's talk about Youri Tielemans. Now, Rob Turner, one of the key reporters at The Athletic, specializing in Leicester City, has said that Leicester City are expecting a bid for Youri Tielemans from any club in January, but it is also highly likely that they will turn the bid around. So I think with Leicester, it is between two things. Do you get the money, or do you sell with the player and secure promotion or secure Premier League football next campaign? So Rob Turner, senior journalist with The Athletic, reporting for Leicester, reporting around Leicester City, says they're expecting a bid, or they're expecting bids, but they will be turning down those bids. They'll be looking at letting him go in the summer for free rather than selling him at a very, very low price in January. Because Rob says the price for Youri Tielemans is going to drop dramatically come January 5th. Now, I don't know what is good for Leicester, but if I were Leicester, and I'm objective here, I wouldn't sell Youri Tielemans. Like, you cannot weaken your squad any further than that. Like, injuries are coming in. You have so much football to play between January and May, and then you didn't buy players in the summer, and you sold some of your best players in the summer. You cannot weaken more than that. You can't weaken further than that. So I wouldn't sell if I were Leicester City. The player clearly wants to be part of this Arsenal side. The player is absolutely positive and optimistic that a deal can be done. But to be disappointing to Youri Tielemans, I don't think this deal is going to happen in January. Yeah, I've seen The Athletic say that Arsenal could sign a central midfielder in the summer. That means something, right? That really means something. Because whenever we talk about a central midfielder for Arsenal, that is Youri Tielemans. There is no other one that Arsenal really want seriously. It is Youri Tielemans. So it is highly likely that we sign Youri Tielemans in the summer. And in January, focus on Mykhaylo Mudryk and maybe another striker. And finally, the rest for signing Alexis Mac Allister is also on. Chelsea, Man United, and Arsenal again battling out for the Argentine at Brighton. I think he's worked with Graham Potter. That gives Chelsea a huge advantage. Don't see him go to Manchester United. I don't see him go to Arsenal either. Unless we fail to get Youri Tielemans, I don't see him as a player who signs for Arsenal eventually. I don't see him as a player who signs for Manchester United eventually. But Chelsea always make this kind of signing, don't they? Like Daniel Drinkwater. You remember that guy that eventually signed for Chelsea? Yeah, they always make this kind of signing. So Mac Allister, I'm not saying he's at that level, but I'm saying Mac Allister is a typical Chelsea signing. If they made it, it would be typical Chelsea. Hit the like button. I'll speak to you later when we get more of the Arsenal updates.